Mitch Trubisky, he just looked uncomfortable all night, and that never really changed. He was missing reads. He could have been intercepted many more times, quite frankly. So they were just off, I think, that offense. And I felt like Matt Nagy sort of got a little too, like, cute.
He got fancy. Yeah. He got fancy. It got real high school, college style a little bit, a lot of read, a lot of pulling stuff. And I mean, the reason we're so frustrated is, one, we didn't expect Green Bay's defense to be as good as they were. And two, we expected the Chicago Bears to be a little bit better. We expected Mitchell Trubisky to have progressed a little bit more. I think we also are a little kind of confused at how bad, not bad, but just the lack of offense that Green Bay had. But we know at the end of the day, that's Aaron Rodgers. They'll get it figured out. And we know that Bears defense is really, really good. And so, you know, it's a lot to talk about. But a lot of it had to do with the defenses. And, you know, obviously, like I said, we just didn't see what we thought we were going to see with the progression of Mitch the next year, which is this year.
Do you like to see a game like that?
I don't mind. I mean, I'm a defensive guy. I like defensive guys making plays, but I want to see points too. I'm like a normal fan. I'm just like you guys at home.
Like everybody else.
I want to see touchdowns too. You know.
I think Matt Nagy's still a young coach. I think he learned a valuable lesson. He still has a young team.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, what Mitchell Trubisky, 3 snaps in all of the preseason, and they were 3 handoffs. I think what we saw last night was Mitchell Trubisky and this Chicago Bears offense, including Matt Nagy himself, the play caller, going through preseason. I mean, it was 10 penalties from this team, 20 penalties through the entire game. It was a sloppy game, but specifically the Chicago Bears, I thought it was too much on Mitchell Trubisky's plate. You mentioned the term trying to get too cute. That's exactly what it was. They started the game with 3 running backs, and it was a fumble on the very first play, trying to be a little too cute. Sometimes, guys, we can't overthink this thing, okay? Sometimes you can just line up in the eye and run the football.
in the mouth, yep.
Sometimes you can just, if you're a shotgun team, line up in the shotgun and just run your read option and do what you're going to do. But don't overthink things, and I think as we go through preseason and you see how other teams do with their star quarterbacks and their star players and things like that, coaches seem to think, oh, well, I'm going to hold my guys back too. That's why I love the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick don't care. You know what, Tom Brady, you're going to get you some snaps. You know why? Because I don't want you to look that way on the first game of the season. And I just thought that this was a learning experience for Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears.
One thing that felt off to me about their offense is they've used multiple running backs before.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not like they have a bell cow. But last year it felt like from week to week, as you got into the course of the game, you knew who was going to be featured in this backfield. I didn't feel that last night. The snap counts were 51 for Cohen, 28 for Montgomery. Davis had 41 snaps. It didn't feel like he knew which way he wanted to go with that backfield last night. So I would say that if you start to figure that out, I'm not saying you got to run the ball with all these guys, but figure out some things to cut down on the number of passes that we're talking. Control the game.
Yeah, absolutely right.
From the backfield, you know?
Tyreek Cohen, I think they had 10 targets on him last night. He had like 8 receptions for only 40-something yards with 0 rushes. He's a running back, change of pace running back, and it seemed like to me they were trying to feature him as a focal point in this game plan, as opposed to last year it was Jordan Howard as the focal point, and he was just kind of a change-up. I think they need to go back to something like that. Make David Montgomery and Mike Davis the feature backs, and then you have Tyreek Cohen as a complementary piece to what they're doing in the run game.
Yeah, but it was just entirely too sloppy. It
was a preseason game, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys want to say it that way. But
there was a span of 5 plays where the Bears had 2 delay of game penalties. In 5 plays.
Yeah.
That's just unacceptable.
I mean, I saw Green Bay come out of a TV timeout, and the play clock runs down, and Aaron's like, not again. You know, like, come on, guys. Like, we got to be better than that. That's the cardinal sin is we don't waste a timeout when we just came off a TV timeout.
That's bad.
And, yeah, that's just preseason ball.